In one of the most intriguing moments in the Bible, Jesus does something unusual. He writes in the sand. This simple act, done during a tense and charged situation, has puzzled and fascinated people for centuries. Imagine the scene. A woman accused of adultery is brought before Jesus by a group of religious leaders. They demand that Jesus decide her fate, hoping to trap him. But instead of answering immediately, Jesus bends down and writes in the sand. What did he write? And why did he choose this moment to do so? These questions have led to much speculation and deep reflection. The answers might not only reveal more about Jesus' wisdom, but also offer us profound lessons for our own lives. Understanding why Jesus wrote in the sand is important because it sheds light on his teachings about judgment, forgiveness, and compassion. If we grasp the meaning behind this act, we can better understand how to live according to his principles. The stakes are high because this event highlights how we should respond in moments of tension and conflict. If we miss the lesson here, we might continue to act in ways that are judgmental and unkind, missing the true essence of Jesus' message. But by diving into this story, we can learn to embody the same grace and wisdom that Jesus showed, transforming our interactions and relationships. To truly understand the significance of Jesus writing in the sand, we need to look at the context of the story. This event is recorded in the Gospel of John, chapter 8. Jesus was teaching in the temple courts when the scribes and Pharisees brought a woman caught in adultery before him. According to the law of Moses, she was to be stoned to death. They asked Jesus what he thought should be done, hoping to trap him between the strict adherence to the law and his message of mercy. If he sided with the law, he might lose the support of the common people who followed him for his message of love and forgiveness. If he showed mercy, he could be accused of disregarding the law. It was a cleverly laid trap, but Jesus' response was neither quick nor predictable. Instead, he stooped down and wrote in the sand with his finger. This act, seemingly simple, turned the situation on its head and left everyone present in stunned silence. Over the years, many scholars and theologians have offered various interpretations of why Jesus wrote in the sand. Some suggest that Jesus was simply buying time, allowing the crowd's anger to dissipate. Others believe that he might have been listing the sins of the accusers, reminding them of their own faults. Another interpretation is that Jesus was demonstrating the transient nature of human judgment by writing in a medium that would quickly be erased. Still, others think that he was writing a message of mercy or referencing a specific scripture from the Old Testament. Each of these interpretations provides a unique perspective on the event, highlighting different aspects of Jesus' wisdom and approach to conflict. The common thread in all these interpretations is the idea that Jesus was inviting those present to reflect on their own actions and attitudes before passing judgment on another. To fully appreciate the significance of Jesus writing in the sand, it is helpful to understand the cultural and historical background of the time. In Jewish culture, the law of Moses was held in the highest regard, and any violation of this law was taken very seriously. The act of writing itself had significant symbolic meaning. Writing in the sand, a temporary and easily altered medium, could symbolize the impermanence and fallibility of human judgment compared to the eternal and unchanging nature of divine judgment. Additionally, during this time, public shaming and punishment were common responses to sin. By writing in the sand, Jesus was challenging these societal norms, emphasizing the need for compassion and introspection. His actions suggested that before condemning others, one should consider their own imperfections and the possibility of forgiveness and redemption. The act of Jesus writing in the sand is rich with symbolism. Writing in the sand can be seen as a metaphor for the fleeting nature of human judgments and the transient nature of life itself. Sand, easily blown away by the wind or washed away by water, represents how quickly circumstances can change and how temporary our perceptions can be. Jesus' choice of medium on the idea that our judgments should be held lightly with an understanding of their impermanence. Additionally, the act of stooping down to write can symbolize humility and the lowering of oneself to connect with others on a deeper level. By doing so, Jesus demonstrated that true wisdom and judgment come from a place of humility and compassion. His actions invite us to reflect on our own lives and consider how we judge others, encouraging us to adopt a mindset of mercy and understanding. The story of Jesus writing in the sand offers several powerful lessons. First, it teaches us the importance of self-reflection. Before we judge others, we must look at our own actions and attitudes. Jesus' act of writing in the sand encourages us to pause and consider our own shortcomings. Second, it highlights the value of mercy over strict adherence to rules. Jesus did not dismiss the law but demonstrated that mercy and compassion are equally important. By forgiving the woman and challenging her accusers to reflect on their own sins, he showed that true justice includes the possibility of redemption. Finally, the story reminds us that our judgments should be temporary and flexible, recognizing the complexity of human behavior and the potential for change. These lessons are timeless and can guide us in our daily interactions and decisions, helping us to lead lives marked by grace and understanding. Jesus' approach to judgment and forgiveness is beautifully illustrated in this story. He did not immediately respond with condemnation or leniency, but instead created a space for reflection and self-assessment. By writing in the sand, he diverted attention away from the woman and onto the broader issue of human fallibility. This act gave her accusers a chance to consider their own sins, leading to a more profound understanding of justice. Jesus' statement, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her," shifted the focus from punishment to personal accountability. This approach teaches us that true forgiveness involves recognizing our own need for mercy and extending that same mercy to others. It shows that judgment should be tempered with compassion and an awareness of our own imperfections. Jesus' actions serve as a powerful reminder that forgiveness is a critical component of justice and that true judgment involves empathy and humility. The reactions of the people present during this event are also significant. Initially, the scribes and Pharisees were eager to condemn the woman and trap Jesus. However, Jesus' unexpected action of writing in the sand and his subsequent challenge led to a remarkable shift. One by one, the accusers left, starting with the eldest. This response indicates a moment of self-realization and humility. They were confronted with their own sins and chose to walk away rather than cast judgment. The woman, left standing before Jesus, experienced both mercy and a call to transformation. Jesus did not condone her actions but offered her a path to change, saying, "Go now and leave your life of sin." This interaction demonstrates that Jesus' approach effectively diffuses a tense situation and turns it into a moment of personal growth for everyone involved. The reactions of the crowd remind us that introspection can lead to a more compassionate and just society. Reflecting on the story of Jesus writing in the sand invites us to apply its lessons to our own lives. It encourages us to adopt a posture of humility and self-examination before passing judgment on others. We can ask ourselves, are there areas in my life where I am quick to judge without considering my own flaws? This self-awareness can transform our relationships and interactions, making us more compassionate and understanding. Additionally, the story inspires us to embrace forgiveness, both in giving and receiving it. By recognizing our own need for mercy, we can extend the same to others, fostering a spirit of grace and empathy. Practicing these principles in our daily lives can lead to profound personal growth and a more harmonious community. The story also encourages us to remember that our judgments should be temporary and open to change, reflecting the transient nature of life and the possibility of transformation. The story of Jesus writing in the sand holds significant relevance for us today. In a world often marked by quick judgments and a lack of compassion, this story offers a powerful reminder of the importance of mercy and self-reflection. Social media and other platforms can sometimes amplify our tendency to judge others harshly without fully understanding their circumstances. By applying the principles illustrated in this story, we can strive to create a more compassionate and empathetic society. The story also speaks to the need for personal accountability and the recognition that we all have areas where we need to grow. It encourages us to look beyond the surface and consider the deeper issues at play, fostering a more nuanced and understanding approach to justice. In our personal lives, this story can guide us in dealing with conflicts and disagreements, reminding us to prioritize humility and forgiveness over rigid adherence to rules. The story of Jesus writing in the sand is a profound illustration of his wisdom, compassion, and approach to justice. It challenges us to reflect on our own actions and attitudes before passing judgment on others. By understanding the cultural and historical context, exploring various interpretations, and considering the symbolism and lessons in this act, we can gain a deeper appreciation of Jesus' teachings. This story encourages us to adopt a mindset of humility, mercy, and self-awareness in our daily lives. By doing so, we can transform our relationships and interactions, fostering a more compassionate and just society. As we continue to reflect on this powerful story, let it guide us in embodying the grace and wisdom that Jesus exemplified, helping us to live more meaningful and impactful lives.